Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day here. I'm getting ready to spray this field again. I already sprayed it once a couple weeks ago, as you can see from all the dead in there, but there's a good bit of this velvet leaf poking through across the field. As you can see, there's still just a bunch of green growing out there, and it's time to do something about it, or else it's going to get really bad. Like I said, I've already sprayed it once and it absolutely smoked everything that was there, but we had some pretty bad ragweed out here for some reason this year, and there was one particular spot where it was like 7 foot tall, and I had to raise the boom on the sprayer all the way up to go over top of it. Everything on top died, but I'm assuming that there was new growth underneath the canopy that obviously didn't get sprayed because it was protected by the tall ragweed in the beans. So I'm gonna go mix a load in the sprayer. This will take 2 loads to do this field. This is the field at home right here. This is the home field. But I'm gonna go mix up the sprayer and get to it. So there's 2 products I'm spraying. The first one is this. It's called Liberty. It is a grass killer, broadleaf killer. It kills everything. Only up to about a certain height though. Once it gets above about 4 to 6 inches, it's not as effective. So since we're spraying this field again and it has a lot taller weeds in it, we're going to spike it with another product called 2,4-D, and 2,4-D is a broadleaf killer. So weeds like that first weed I showed on the ground called velvet leaf, how it has very big broad leaves, that chemical is specifically for that stuff. But mixing the 2 together, hopefully we should get a nice clean kill on that field. So I was just about to start this thing and the screen started screaming at me for engine air temp, which it's never done that before. So my guess would be that's the air filter is plugged. So I'm gonna look at that. Oh wow, yeah, this thing is very, very dusty. So I just blew this thing out and it was absolutely disgusting. I didn't realize how much dust was actually in it. But that should solve that problem. So in order to mix chemicals, we gotta turn the pump on and get the pump going. So we're gonna select an event, and then we'll just go back on whatever was last sprayed. Doesn't really matter. My dad just sprayed earlier, so we'll just go right back on that. And all this is gonna do is allow us to pull up this screen so we can see there's currently 171 gallon left in there. And then down here, we can see our pressure and our agitation. The agitation is basically the pressure at which the tank is mixing up. Like there's little water jets inside the tank in there, and the more pressure you put, the more it's gonna flow and blah, blah, blah. So go ahead and turn our pump on right here and idle up to about 1,400 is plenty. And then right now you can see the pressure's at 5, which isn't really an accurate reading. So right here we have a pressure switch, and we'll hold down on that, and then the pressure will start to raise. That's plenty. That'll be fine. 48. So then now I'll hit my agitation switch, which is, it's this one right here, and I'll hold up on that, and this one goes really quick. So I just barely have to click it once, and it jumps up. That's a little too much. Liberty foams very bad, so I don't want a lot of agitation. That's good. About 8. So now we'll get out and start pumping water first. Fill this thing almost all the way full of water, and then put the chemical in, and then top it off the rest of the way. So we got everything mixed up, so now we'll come back in here and set the tank level to 1,200 gallon, because that's all the way full. I filled it completely full. And now we're good to go. We're spraying 15 gallon an acre, and we got 1,200 gallon. So if you do the math in your head, that's 80 acres. And the field I'm going into is 130, so I'm gonna go spray till I'm empty, and then come back and mix up another and go finish it. So let's go. the way this works is I go around the field once. Well, I go around the field twice, actually. But the first time, I obviously just watch my boom and don't smack the fence or over trees or anything. But then the second time around, all I do is watch this monitor right here, and it paints. There's a really bad glare on that. It paints where I've been, and so it's basically just like a video game at this point, and I just keep it right up to my first pass. And since this is the second time spraying this field, you can faintly see where I've already driven. So it actually makes it a lot easier. So now that I'm spraying the field a second time, I kind of just follow my tracks from the first time. One, because it keeps me perfectly on track, and two, I don't want to smash down any more beans than I did the first time around. So I'll stay in this. As long as it was correct the first time I sprayed, I didn't miss anything, didn't overlap real bad, I'll just re-follow, or I'll just follow the tracks from the first time I sprayed. But then once you go around twice, we'll set an AB line, which I already set an AB line up at the start. So then once I make it back up there, then it's just auto steer back and forth. And basically this will drive itself in a perfectly straight line. All I have to do is play with the booms and keep them from smacking the ground or going down too far to where they're touching the beans and everything. So we made it twice around the field. So now we're gonna let auto steer take over. It's engaged, and then boom on, and it does its own thing now. It'll made our AB line on the second time around, and it's gonna follow that perfectly straight line. It's gonna overlap a little bit right here to make a perfectly straight line on this last, what's called a point row, your end row, whatever. But then now, back and forth, it's going to be perfectly straight, and I'll be able to go way faster because I don't gotta worry about steering. I can focus more on the booms. But yeah, so we've got about 70 acres done so far, and we've got all the chopped up nasty mess done. So now it's just back and forth on the straightaways. I'll be able to go all the way down one time, and because I only got 140 gallon left, I'll be able to go all the way down one time, and then I'm going to stop, fold up, go back to the barn and fill it up again, and then come back down. It'll just be flying back and forth. I got all the time consuming chopped up stuff done, so should go pretty quick now. So let's get this last strip done and fill it back up and keep going. Coming into a patch of pretty high weeds right now. So I just raised the whole entire boom up. That way it'll go over top of all this. field's officially done. So we have never had as big a problem in this field with weeds that we have this year, and it's mainly the ragweed. And there's just those big patches of ragweed over there, and what we think it's from is we have biosolids spread on this field every year, and the only thing we can trace it down to is the biosolids, because where the big patches of ragweed are is where they stored it. So I think it came from that, and then it just got spread across the field. And then there was one patch of these really weird looking weeds. I don't know what they're called, but they got like these little like spiky ball fruits that grow on them, and then when they dry out they like explode with little black seeds. But that is from, I used to have cows. I got rid of them about a year, I think it was about a year ago this month, was when I sold my last 2 steers. And I used the skid steer and cleaned out the barn and just used the bucket on the skid steer and spread the manure and everything out in the field. And of course it brought those weeds from the outside pasture that I had, because the outside pasture that I had that had those cows in them had those weeds really bad in it. And then I spread all that manure out here, and sure enough, when it started growing, all that whatever they are started growing right there. But they're dying no problem, but they're still coming back. But the stuff that I already sprayed earlier, like this is from my first time around. That velvet leaf right there is already shriveling up and dying, but I think it's because we spiked this with 2,4-D, which is a broadleaf killer, which would help kill that. But and the ragweed too from earlier, before I had to fill up a second time, the ragweed's starting to like wilt over and its leaves are curling up. So hopefully we get a good kill on this field and don't have any problems, which I think it'll be fine with how big the beans are. They're already canopied, so I think it'll be fine once stuff starts dying. And then this right here was a test plot for the new corn planter we got. You can see all the dead corn plants out there. That was all non-GMO, but this outside row had GMO corn in it. And you can see we mixed in clethodim to kill the corn. We had a lot of volunteer corn, but we mixed in clethodim to kill the corn, and the sprayer wasn't primed yet, and I started up here and came this way, and you can see the decline in this GMO corn, how down there it's nice and dark green, but over here it's yellow and shorter, because I think that's where the clethodim started getting through the boom, and then right here it stops, and the rest of the row is dead. So we're just gonna chop it down with a spade or something. But other than that, I mean, it should be fine. And there we go. I am leaving tomorrow for vacation for a week, so I'm not gonna have a video next week. But this was kind of a last minute thing. I didn't have any footage either this week, but I just decided to make a video real quick with me spraying. So yeah, so there was that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.